Hey guys, Kev here, and it's time for a new Divo Knives release. We have the Divo Knives Chaser. It feels like we've been working on this one for a while. We're really excited about it. Some of you guys have handled prototypes at Blade Show, probably going back to maybe end of 2023 at Blade Show West. I'm not sure. It's been a while that we've been working on this one, but we're really excited about it. It started with an idea. So the concept that I had was, let's do a flipper only model. Don't worry, you can flick it. Let's do a flipper only model and try to keep it, gentlemanly, but also interesting, put our flair on it, so to speak. And Colin went to work and came up with a really cool idea. Then we went from there, and these tabs were born, which are really cool. We'll talk about them. You can see some of these are set up lefty because I've been carrying them lefty or righty. And I'm going to show you how you can swap hardware, because that's going to come into play. There's a couple things I need to mention about these two versions. This one's from Urban Cutlery, and this is the Urban EDC exclusive. Two Urbans there, which can be confusing, hence the conversation we're going to have. But we have five, count them, 5 dealer exclusives. One version available on our website. They are all in titanium and S90V steel. The OEM is Kubi Knives out of China. They have a vacuum cryo treated S90V that hits really close to 62 most of the time, but we're gonna list it 60 to 62. It's usually 61 to 62, but playing it safe there. And they could only do titanium on these. We couldn't do multiple handle materials without changing the whole design. So we had to come up with some unique ideas. And all of the dealers, they get to pick their own versions. And as long as we can do what they want, we'll do it, right? Some dealers will see our prototypes and just be like, oh, I really like this version, let's do that. Some dealers will say, I really have an idea I want to do for this, and we'll do that. And you'll see that kind of happen here as we go through all the versions. But we were trying to keep it unique for everybody, so I was working closely with each dealer and making sure we didn't, double up too much on any finishes or colors or anything. And I think we did a really good job coming up with 6 unique versions of the Chaser here. And I hope you guys like it. I hope at least one of these versions stands out to you. And that was kind of the goal, was I think there's something for everyone here, So we're going to talk about the model. I'm going to show you how to take it apart and swap kits. I'll show you the kits, or at least, the colors we have or finishes we have. And, try to answer any questions that I think people would have. And then, of course, you guys can sound off in the comments with any questions or concerns or whatever. Now, the drop is going to be on February 20th. So Thursday, the 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern. So 1 p.m. Eastern time, 2:20. So that's coming up in a couple weeks. So mark it on your calendar if you are interested in the Chaser. The retail price on all of these is going to be $219. At least that's the price point we gave to the dealers. This build and construction last year would have been $199. If you guys bought a Fireball or a Tall Boy last year, they were $199 in titanium and S90V, or carbon and S90V. With the dealer exclusives and everything. But with the increase in costs everywhere, and the dealers were getting hit pretty hard once you added costs to ship and pack and discounts and everything, we wanted to make sure the dealers weren't, working for free, essentially. So we have to increase the price a little bit. Our cost to them did not go up, but the retail price went up slightly to help the dealers out a little bit. Hope you guys appreciate that or understand that at the very least. I know a lot of people just want the best price they can possibly get, and I totally understand that. But these are American companies, these dealers. You know, they employ American people. And so we think it's really important, because we have our knives made overseas, that we try to support people in our country as much as we can on the back end of things. And working with dealers is one way that we can really do that. So with that said, the price went up basically $20 this year for knives in this sort of Kubi premium category for us. However, if you use the 10% codes, which most of these have, maybe not Urban EDC, but most of them have a 10% code available. You could try Lefty10. It should work at all 5 of those. And you'll get 10% off, and that will knock the price under $200. I think it's like $197 or something like that. So that is where we're at on pricing. Now, we did want to add a little bit better value for that, so we upped our game a little bit on packaging. So we now have a fully printed box, which is a little bit nicer than the just black box that we were using before that just had like Divo embossed on the front. Now we have a design for each knife. So every knife will have its own cool, unique pattern or graphic on the box. And some knives will actually have different colors for each version. We didn't do that on this one, but yeah, so we're trying to do that. But basically, you're going to get this cool box. It's the Chaser box. It's got the skull on there. It's the Divo skull. If you like that, I think we have some merch on the website, t-shirts and stuff with the skull on it. And then you're going to get a cloth in here, and you're going to get your knife, of course. Now, on these 2 versions, you're also going to get a accent kit, so stay tuned. I'll explain that. That is the box. You will also get the stickers inside the box. I, for some reason, don't have them here. Hang tight. So inside each box will be the Divo Chaser sticker. So this is the sticker we designed for this knife specifically, and the Divo Knives sticker. Those will fit in the box and be in there. And then you will get a Divo Knives cloth. So we always like to include our microfiber cloth, and I just had to order more. This is what they look like. They're 12 by 12 microfibers, really, really nice microfibers. I use them all the time. We get a lot of good feedback from you guys on the cloths. So you'll get one of these with every Divo Knives purchase. So if you've bought from us before, you should be familiar with the cloth. Okay, so that's what you get. Let's talk about the knife, okay? This is the Divo Knives website exclusive version. So this will only be available on our website. There are 100 pieces of each version, except for this one, there are 50. So you have 50 of these and then 100 each of these. Total of 550 knives in the run. I like to tell people that because for some reason, some companies are really like wishy-washy about how many they have. I guess because they don't want people to know. It's interesting. You guys know we like to be as transparent as we can. So this one, because we were trying to be unique and not step on any of the dealers' toes with their versions, we wanted to come up with something a little different. We went with what we're calling Flame Camo. Shout out to the old man, Bob Poncho, that old bastard. He came up with that name when I showed him this in a group. He said, you should call that Flame Camo. And that's what we're going to do because I think it's a cool name. It's flamed ano, so flame titanium. And then you have black, it's PVD hardware, clip, backspacer, liner. And then you have a belt satin S90V blade, okay? So that is the version that we are selling directly through our website. And here is the Chaser. If you haven't seen it before, apologies. It took me 8 minutes to flip the knife open. The idea here is you get a flipper tab that's very streamlined. The flipper tab is not super obtrusive. It's not one of those that's like in the handle, and those are a little bit harder to use. They're not as fun, in my opinion, when you get one of those flippers that's like inline, like a Vero style. They're still cool if you have all the other deployment methods, but this is a flipper only design, and so we wanted it to be a really good flipper. And so it's very much like our nip flipper, the one on our nip design. And so you get a lot of leverage because you're up above the pivot, the angle of everything. So it really whips out of there, and is a very fun knife to hit with the flipper tab there. But when it's open, you'll see it does disappear. So that flipper tab is in the handle here. We don't have a cool name for that or anything. It's just hidden flipper tab. It's been done many times, but it is cool. And the reason we do it is we want to have a flat choil area for you to choke up on. So now you can come up here, choke up on this flat. You also have Vox style jimping. Credit to Jesper Voxnes for the design on this jimping. The location of it on the blade is what makes it Vox style jimping, but I always like to give credit where credit is due. And it's a very comfortable grip. You have that jimping right there. It is a hollow ground blade. So you have a hollow ground S90V blade. And I think we're calling this a nest foot, something like that. It's sort of nest mucky, sort of drop pointy, sort of sheep's footy, sort of spear pointy. So it's like a spear muck drop foot. I don't know. You guys can say whatever you want. You could just call it a drop point, I guess. But I like to be funny and not funny at the same time, but you get it. Lock bar access is very nice. You have plenty of access there. Again, very reminiscent of our nip design. You can get in there and disengage that real easy and shake her on down. Now, with the satins and the coated blades or acid wash blades, you might need to break in the detent track a little bit. It's not pre-polished by Kubi. So, you just put a little bit of oil on your detent ball or just carry it and use it. And after a little bit of time, there's going to be a smooth detent track, and it's going to be a super smooth feel when you close the knife. But that is the design. I love it. We have the blade steel marked here, and then first time ever for a Divo knife, we had a request from our friend Jesse at Urban Cutlery to number his knives. And I asked Kubi to number those, and I said, you don't have to number the rest, but please number those. And they went ahead and numbered every version. So you have a out of 100 marking on each version. So you can see this one is number 65 of 100. And then again, this one is out of 50. And you'll see I got lucky. I actually grabbed this one randomly during the QC process. And I noticed later I ended up with number 1 of 50. So ideally, I would want the dealer to end up with that, but I had already taken it apart and whatever. So it's mine now, unfortunately, but that one is out of 50. The rest are out of 100. So anyway, that's the Divo Knives version. This is the White Mountain Knives version. And this one is a bead blasted titanium. And you'll see this one has a sort of crosshatch pattern milled on it, and most of them do. But 2 versions do not. Ours has a different pattern. It's more like a stripe, like lines. which looks cool. And then the urban one obviously has Sagaha. And again, stay tuned when I get to this one because the filler tabs are actually really, really cool. These are not the ones that come installed on the knife. We will talk about it. But this one is bead blasted, and then everything else is stonewashed. So the blade is stonewashed S90V. So this is going to be your user version. This is going to be probably the best version to get if you want to throw an accent kit on it. If you plan to get a Zircuti kit or, you know, get a purple kit or a blue kit or whatever, this would be a good option for that. And what I was saying earlier is you can flick this knife. So it's not going to be as intuitive as a whole, obviously. But if you've ever had like a Trevor Berger design or any other knife where you can just flick it off the blade, it is possible to do that. It's honestly really easy. I haven't had any issues with it. And, you know, the different finishes are going to be a little bit, they're going to feel a little different. So if you struggle with that, you might want to go with the black wash or the acid wash because it's going to grip your finger a lot better. Where the stone wash and the satin is obviously going to be a little bit smoother, but that's a stone wash. This is a satin. You can see there, I can flick it. No problem. I can do it left-handed as well. So it is a flickable knife. We did not add a fuller or a nail nick or anything because, again, the idea here was to have a nice, clean, flipper-only design. Flipper-only in design, right? You can obviously still flick it. This one is the traditional pocket knives version. And I got to tell you, this one is really cool. It has a pretty cool concept to it. So Austin over there is a Marine. So first off, thank you for your service, Austin. Thank you to all of the Marines out there that watch the channel. Thank you to all of our men and women in the military. We appreciate your service and sacrifices. So I want to definitely put that out there. But he is a Marine, and so he had this idea. What if I did U.S. Marine Corps red Cerakote on the knife? And that is exactly what he did. So we talked to Kubi, and they said they could do it. It did cost a little bit more to get the titanium Cerakoted, and TPK decided to just eat that cost for you guys. So this knife will be the same price as the rest of them. It will be $219, and you will have the ability to use your discount code Lefty10 or your favorite YouTuber's code to get 10% off. So shout out to Austin for doing that. That's really cool. And if you are a Marine, this is the chaser for you. It's also a little bit different, right? It's unique. I haven't seen very many red Cerakoted production knives, right? I've probably seen red Cerakote before on somebody's knife that was like modded or something. But for a production knife like this, I don't think I've seen that before. Just to keep the little trend going here, I'll show you guys the number on each one. I have number, oh, look at that. Number 50 on this one. What was this one? Number 50. What? Dude, that's so weird. These are all coincidence, by the way. I did not go through and pick numbers out. This one's number 65. The next one, so shout out to TPK, shout out to White Mountain Knives. This one is the one that actually started it all. Shout out to Blade Binge. So the guys over at Blade Binge, I don't know if I showed them the Chaser design or they reached out and said they wanted to do a collaboration. I forget how it happened, but maybe after we did the MASH dark mode version, we started working on a Chaser version, and we even prototyped this version for them. So big shout out to Blade Binge. They supported the Chaser from the moment it was drawn up on our end. So this one is black-washed titanium, black-washed S90V, and then black-washed accents. So, sorry, hardware and clip, backspacer. Everything's black-washed, and then you have their teal accents just on the tabs and the screws. The reason they did that, they didn't do the clip and the backspacer is because they didn't want it to be too much teal. And I think they were smart doing that. This one is number 31, looks like. So our streak there is over for the 50s. But this one's really nice. I've always liked this version. You get that really just user-friendly version, all black-washed. And again, if you struggle to flick, the PVD blackwash coating grabs your finger just really well. And I think because the hollow grind, you know, comes up to here, like it starts here, it kind of gives you a little bit of a shelf there with your finger that you're grabbing as well. You're not just hitting a flat grind. And I think that plays a part in why this knife is more flickable. A full height hollow grind would have been pretty cool, but Kubi's not at that level yet where they can do full height hollows. But I can fire these out. It's really fun to flick once you get the hang of it. So, yeah. But this one is teal accents. This is the dark mode chaser available at bladebinge.com. Then we have the two that I really wanted to talk about. So this one is Urban Cutlery and Lifestyle Shop. Jesse over there. Some of you guys may not know Urban Cutlery. Really cool guy. And he basically, his mission is to bring knives and EDC gear to New York City. He is in the heart of New York City. And he just wants to make knives great again, basically, in New York City. If you guys live in New York or know anybody who lives in New York, you might be aware that it is tough. Amazon won't ship knives to New York City, and there's a lot of rules and shit like that. So anybody who's trying to get knives out there more is a winner in my book. Plus, I've met Jesse a bunch of times at shows, and he's just a good dude and has been a big supporter of Divo Knives like all of these folks from day one. We really appreciate that. So his version, the dream that Jesse had was Dark Blast. So you have that Dark Blast look like a Sabenza, and then Purple Anno for the accents. He really liked the purple nurple nips. And so he wanted that purple on here. And then a belt satin S90V blade. So personally, this is one of my favorite versions. We're all going to have different tastes. And I think that's what's so cool about all the versions we have, right? But this one is a winner for me personally. And I was really excited to see the purple on the Dark Blast. And when we got these, guess what? They weren't purple. So this is what happened. Kubi sort of mixed up Urban Cutlery and Urban EDC, which is understandable, I think. They are blurple, and he wanted purple. So they kind of screwed up, and they sent these with blurple accents installed, which, by the way, looks really freaking good. But it's not what he ordered, right? So what we did was we worked with Kubi, and they sent us all new accent kits for this knife. So we were sent over 100 kits for this knife, and we included one in each box. So if you buy this version from Urban Cutlery, you will get a backup kit in a different color. So I'm going to show you in a second once I talk about this one. I'm going to take these out and show you what it'll look like when you get it, because you will get it with the blurple installed. And then you can swap it to purple if you want to. Or you could keep that kit and put it on another one if you want to buy a different one, or you could, save it for whatever. It's totally up to you. But you will get a purple kit with this knife, okay? Also, I love this version. It is beautiful. The knife weighs 3.3 ounces, by the way. It has a 3-inch blade, 4-inch handle, 7 inches overall. For anybody who wanted specs, I think it's 0.11 on the blade thickness as well. So this one is the Urban EDC version. Let me get this out of here. And the vision here from Yongsu at Urban EDC was a Sagaha patterned handle, fully Sagaha'd, right? So the tabs even have the milling on them. This was his vision. All Sagaha blurple, and then acid washed accents. And that is an absolutely beautiful dream that he had. So when we got these from Kubi, in this case, they did not mix up colors, but they had a really hard time matching the ano. They had a really hard time matching the ano perfectly to the handles, and they anodized them. They tried like 4 or 5 different times, and they just could not get the blurple perfect. It's really close, and honestly, I think with time in your pocket and in your hand with the hand oils and everything, the colors really do mesh together really well, and I'm gonna show you. But because we, want everyone to be happy, we talked to Kubi, and they sent us 50 Dark Blast accent kits to include with each knife. So for this knife, if you buy this one, you will get this kit installed. I'll show you what that looks like soon. And then you will get this Dark Blast set. So it's screws and tabs. You will get that extra in the box. Each box has one in there. And so if you don't like how the blurple matches up, it's not the milling. The milling's great. It's the color. If you don't like the ano match, you can swap it to this if you want. Now, I will admit that it should have been a dark wash finish on these, and I'm pretty sure they did a dark blast instead, but it is close as hell, and it looks fantastic. And if you carry it, it's going to look dark washed anyway pretty soon. Plus, it's an extra kit you're getting for free in the box, so I think either way, it is awesome. And I love this version. This is one of my favorite versions as well. Just really sexy combination. So those are all the versions. And again, the drop is on 2/20 at 1 p.m. Eastern. The knife is $219 retail, and you can use 10% codes. I know you can at these 5. Divo, White Mountain Knives, TPK, or traditional pocket knives, or C. Reisner Cutlery, Blade Binge, and Urban Cutlery and Lifestyle Shop. Not sure about Urban EDC. Most likely not going to have a discount, but maybe. So let me show you how easy it is to swap stuff on these, okay? So real quick, I'm going to put these back. I'm going to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. This is the Urban EDC kit. I'll do that one next just to show you, because I want you to see what it's going to look like out of the box. I just happened to swap them to show the dealers what it looks like. And then I, was filming the video, and I figured I'd just show you. So this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a kit that includes a pivot barrel attached to a filler tab. So you have a pivot filler tab here attached to a barrel. The way you can tell that this is for the pivot is it is mounted in the center. The pivot is larger than the clip screw slot, and it is mounted in the center, where the barrel for the clip screw is on the end. It's attached to the end, and you'll see why. And then you're going to get the pivot screw, and you're going to get the clip screw. Hopefully that makes sense. That's how these kits are going to come for the Urban EDC and Urban Cutlery ones. If you get a kit on the side, like you order a kit, they're a little bit different. I don't think this barrel comes with it, but the one that's in your knife, obviously you can use, and they're real easy to just unscrew off. And I'll probably show you that as well. But so all you need is a T8 driver. In this case, ironically, I have a Blurple driver here. This is a prototype of a product we're working on. And you'll have more information on that down the line. But basically, you just go to the pivot. Actually, I'm going to do the clip first. Go to the clip, unscrew the T8, drop that out, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Pop the clip off if it's not being a pain. Sometimes the clip doesn't want to pop out. It can be tight in there. And then I just need to use like a little pry tool. I'll show you because I guess I should, right? So what I'll do is I'll take a plastic pry. This is like for a truck dashboard. I'll just wedge it underneath the clip, and then I'll just kind of pop up, and it'll pop out of there. So we designed the clip with a little pin. See that little pin right there? And that keeps it straight and keeps it locked in so you don't get wiggle, because I don't like clips that wiggle. So we did it that way. That is why that barrel is on the end of the tab. So all you got to do now, and you could probably do this with the clip on if you really wanted to, if you weren't going to swap the clip, and you had something small enough to fit in there, but you literally just need to push this out. Don't be afraid. It's just a barrel. I mean, don't, twist it in there and try to strip the threads, but you just push and it'll come out the other side. Okay, now that's out. And again, if this is a regular kit, you would just unthread this and then put your new tab on, okay? But in this case, I'm gonna leave this as one piece because I have a piece right here, okay? So I'm gonna show you something else that's pretty cool on this knife. You can reverse the filler tabs on both the pivot and the clip. So if you're left-handed, guess what? It's going to look like a lefty knife. Obviously, the lock is still going to be on the right-hand side, but it's a liner lock, which works really well for a lefty. So if I'm putting the clip on the left side, I want the filler tab through here. So all you got to do is pop that filler tab through there, let it drop into the little square there, and then you want to take the tab, which I have the wrong one here. So hang on a second. Am I missing one? Uh-oh. Oh, no, I'm an idiot. The clip. So you're going to take the clip and put that on. The clip is reversible, obviously. So now I can pop this on here, put that in place, take my clip screw, which is the longer, skinnier screw, drop that in, take my T8, and tighten that down. Boom. Bob's your uncle. If you did what I did and you bent your clip up a little bit, you can see it's off the frame because I went a little bit too hard with that pry bar there. What I'll do is I'll take it and I'll bend it with my fingers just a little bit. Tighten it down. Now you can see it's not tapping or anything. Clip is fine. Sometimes you gotta bend a clip, guys. Not the end of the world. If you need help, hit me up. Always happy to help. So that's it for the clip. I reversed the clip, no problem, right? Now we can deal with the pivot, and it's exactly the same process. You don't even have to take the knife apart, guys. So for those of you scared to take knives apart, totally get it, but you don't even have to worry about it. Just drop your tabs out, put them over here, right? Keep pressure here so the knife doesn't split apart, but all you gotta do is push through and your tab will pop out, and now you can take your new one, and in this case, I'm gonna make it left-handed. So I'm gonna push this through to get it in this way. And sometimes you want to open, oh, didn't even need to. Thought I saw something slide out of there, but I guess not. Sometimes you got to open the knife a little bit. Just keep pinching it though, and the pivot will pop through. You just need to like give it a little bit of room is all. And then you're gonna take your filler tab over here, drop that down, drop your pivot screw in. Tighten it down. Now you have your show side lefty clip. And so your clip is over here now, your pivot screw's over here, your clip screw's over here, and you have a clean, no hardware show side as a lefty. So that is how you would reverse it. And this is what the knife looks like stock, except normally the tabs are on this side and the screws are on this side, but you get it. And I think it's a sexy blurple look. So you can choose blurple or purple. So that is the Urban Cutlery version, all right? So let me put these all in here. Sorry, this is gonna be a little longer, I guess, because I'm doing the disassemblies. But if you were just here for the information on the drop, you're good to go. Also, if you made it this far, go check out our new Facebook group. We now have a Divo Knives Dive Bar Facebook group. And people have been asking me to start a Facebook group for a while, and I've been meaning to, just haven't had the time or bandwidth. We had a couple of guys volunteer to help us run it, and so we set it up. So now we're on Facebook, Divo Knives, the Dive Bar. Hang out, show your Divos off. You'll get information there. Hopefully we'll start doing group knives, give some kind of discounts, stuff like that. You'll get heads up for stuff. So check out the Divo Knives Facebook group. So let's check out the Sagaha version here. And again, you don't have to do the clip first. You can do whatever you want, I guess. I didn't really, I don't think it matters. We'll do this one first. Pop that out. I will tell you guys, the tabs, they come out so much easier on this knife compared to knives we've done in the past. Sometimes these tabs have a tendency to want to get stuck in there because of oil or something. I'm just figuring out which way that tab should go. So you'll see there, look at that. Milling lines up perfectly. So let me just push this one out. Yeah, probably didn't need to put the tab in yet. There we go, it's coming out. I'm just squeezing so I don't lose the blade. Don't want it to slide or anything. And then I'm gonna put this, actually I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna put this through and I'm gonna make sure that the milling lines up, because if you put it in upside down, the milling won't line up, obviously. So this is the way it should go. And if you do this one and reverse it to lefty, obviously these milling patterns are not gonna line up. So keep that in mind. It's not, you know, we haven't figured that out, but all the other ones, if you reverse them, it'll just look like a lefty knife. Pop that in. Ah! I pushed it down too far. Just get in there, boy. There we go. And we're going to tighten that pivot down. There we go. All right. So that's the pivot. And then we'll do the clip here. Looks like I already had it on the left side. So in this case, I probably don't even need to. Oh, clip came right out, no problem. I think most of them will come out easy. Just, of course, had the tough one while I was trying to do a video. This one, you don't really have to know the orientation because there's really only one. It's already attached. And your knife is going to come like this anyway. So, man, I keep forgetting it's a clip, not a filler tab, Kev. Drop the screw in. Now, if you prefer to have the clip screw not be blurple, you want it to be, you know, blasted like this, you could use the Dark Blast clip screw if you like that look better. But I'm going to switch it over to the blurple because I do like that little pop of color. But you could use that screw in the kit in the box to do that if you wanted to. So this is what it looks like out of the box for you guys. And you'll see the ano is not perfect, right? It's not the same color. And the reason for that is, according to Kubi, because the titanium is a different thickness, like this is thicker than those tabs, it makes it really hard. They can't just use the same voltage. It doesn't work because the material is thicker. So they tried to get it perfect and they just couldn't get them to match. They couldn't drop them in the same at the same time because these would be a different finish or color. So they had to do them separate and try to match them. And that's really hard. So they did their best. And I honestly think it looks really good. This side's perfect. Almost. And with your oils and everything from your hands and just carrying it, it changes, you know, from blue to purple. And I think it meshes really, really well. And I really love this version. I think it's really cool. But that is the Urban EDC version. And this is how it'll come out of the box. And then you'll have this kit in the box waiting for you. If you want to use it, that's totally up to you. I'm not saying you guys have to do this. Just making that clear. So there you go, guys. That is the accent kit swap. That would also be how you disassemble the knife. Because that's it. There's no body screws. It's literally just a pivot and a clip screw. And it comes apart. And then you can swap your bearings or whatever, and then you just put it back together. It's very simple construction, but I think it is just cool. I think it looks awesome. We really like this angled look on the pivot. We tried it at a straight. I know some of you guys are probably like OCD like me, and your brain says it has to be straight across to match this one. You know what I mean? But that didn't look good. It looks way better with this angle on it. So let me show you the different accent kits, and then I'll get you guys out of here. So, of course, we're going to have Zircuti. So we have 20 of these. Just give you a quick look at the clips if you want. Clips are always the sexiest ones, in my opinion. Look at that. Oh, yeah, that's nice. That's a nice look right there. Tell you what, let's put a kit on. I'll be the tester. I don't mind. I'll be the tester for a Zircuti kit. Oh yeah, that's looking good, dude. This is gonna look sick. I think we're gonna need to order more of these. I can't tell you the price because I really don't know. They're gonna come with these satin screws. You could reuse whatever screws you have with yours, but the Zircuti ones will come with satin because it's gotta come with something, right? That's the clip tab, right? And the reason I'm really excited about these is because of the fact that it's a tab. It's like a rectangle. They had to cut all of these out of like a sheet of Zircuti. So normally when they do our pivot collars, they cut them out of a rod. And the rods, they don't look as nice. So you end up having like a really cool looking clip and backspacer or whatever, but then you have the collars that are cut out of the rod. That's just how they have to do it, and it doesn't look as nice. But because these aren't traditional circular collars, they cut them all out of the sheets, and they just look a lot nicer. You get all this stuff back in here. Those are all the pieces you would get in the kit. And let's decide here, guys. I think we should put it on one of these two. The black one would look good too, I think. I've already taken this one apart, so this would be a good candidate, but this one would also, it's got a little shine to it. I think that might look really sick. Let's see. See which one we would like better, personally. That's looking real good. And this one? Ooh. Okay, yeah, I'm going with the Dark Blast. But, you know, it would look good on here, too. Right? Interesting. Interesting contrast. Could work on the red. On the Sagaha, that one's a little tough, but still. And then the flamed is interesting. I don't know how that would... It might look good. I don't know. Could be a little too busy. So let's take a look here. And I'll get all this stuff out. Sorry, guys. I just came up with the idea to torture you a little longer. But I know somebody's going to ask me what it looks like. So I might as well just do it. And then I'll flip this back over to a right-handed look, just so you guys can get a better idea. So in this case, the clip would go over here, right? And then we would have the tab, right? This tab, yeah. So what I need now is, you'll see that this did not come with the little barrel for the clip screw thingy. So all you do is take the one from your knife and spin this off. Like that. That's all you gotta do. And then spin this on. Just trying to hold it. I don't have tiny fingies, so it's a little hard. There you go. So you just put that on. No problem at all. You don't have to tighten it like crazy. You don't have to super glue it. You don't have to do any of that. Just spin it on. And then slot it in. Take your clip screw. Drop that in. And again, we're going to have satin. So maybe it'd be nice if it came, you know, obviously we can't cover every color. So you could reuse a blurple or purple. Maybe purple would match the clip well, and you could use that. Or you could order a dark, we're going to sell Dark Blast kits. You could order a Dark Blast kit just to get that clip screw if you want. I mean, they're only going to be like 25 bucks. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Get this out. And one important thing is with the pivot, you don't want to use the pivot you have in there. For the pivot, you want to use the one that comes with the kit. And you want to, I would recommend, you don't have to do this. I would recommend you put Loctite, or even if you're comfortable with super glue like I am, put super glue on the pivot tab that doesn't have tooling, and Loctite or glue this onto the barrel. That's how the normal one is, but these don't come glued to the barrel. So it's possible they could come loose after a while if you don't Loctite it or glue it, but that's up to you guys. I could actually just push this through with this one, I think. Try that. Just like that. There you go. If you're switching one from left to right, you could do that. Oh, scheisse. I forgot about the backspacer. Before I finish this, let me open it up. I'll show you the inside of the knife. It is a inset tab lock. So it's like a lot of stuff we've done. Am I missing something here? There we go. So you're looking at literally just a tab mounted to the titanium. It is a steel tab, and honestly, that makes the most sense. There's really no reason to use titanium for this because you're gonna have to put a steel insert on it, and then you're gonna end up making the knife thicker when you could just use steel, because this basically is a steel insert, just a little tab. So anyway, that's the lock bar. That's it. It's really cool. Mounted with these two screws to the titanium there. You have a washer on each side, and then you have 5mm 1/16 bearings. Standard bearings. You have your detent hole in the blade, and then on this side, you're just all milled out. Very, lightweight, simple, but really cool construction in my opinion. Let us slap this bad boy on here. I think it goes the other way. We have little pins on the backspacer to just pop it in place like so. So there's your backspacer. The pivot does not have a D shape because it does not need one, because that tab is in a rectangular captive area. And that's why I say you should Loctite that piece. But I'm not doing that right now because I'm just demonstrating this for you. So got the backspacer in, pop it on. Again, very simple and easy to take apart and put back together. So I need the pivot screw, and I need the little tab for the pivot. No, here it is. So we have that guy, and we have a satin screw. Like that. Close it, and then put this guy back in, coming from this side. Here. What's going on here? Oops. Doesn't want to go through. The backspacer out of alignment. Let me give that a little wiggle room. Might just be the uh-oh. There we go. That was interesting. I don't know if it was just the backspacer being new, or maybe it was milled a little too tight. Did not want to use this for demonstration, of course. I wanted it to be seamless. And now it is not. Okay. Do you want to work now for me, please? Let me tighten this down a little bit. So it's going. It's just, there it goes. Took a little bit of effort. I don't know what that was about. But we got it. Okay. You want to stay in there now? Thanks. So then we're going to add the Zircuti clip. Pop that bad boy in and tighten it down. There we go. There she is. You have Zircuti on those tabs. Wait. Oh. Damn it. I did it backwards. This is what sucks about being a lefty. Now this thing's going to be a monster pain to get out. Oh, look at that. Actually just came out. If I was smart, I would have just probably pushed it out a little bit. I'll show you. I could probably just unscrew it. Pop it through like this. Watch. Unscrew it. No, that wouldn't work because you have to screw it back in. Right? Can't just do it. What? Can I? Don't think this will work. Nah. That was a bad idea, actually. That was a bad idea, Kev. So, start over. Just shove that out. Yeah, I think it's just a little tight because it's, I guess, brand new. They were a little bit tight on tolerances when they did these, I guess. So the clip is going on the lock side, so the tab is going on this side, Kev. And look at that. When you put it in righty, it just freaking slotted right in, no problem. Could just be I loosened it. That's what my wife would say. I loosened the jar. There we go. All right, sorry. So clip side, show side. Oh yeah, that's nice, dude. That's nice. Get a looks at that. And you guys know us. These Zircuti kits will be under $100. Probably well under. I gotta look at the cost. And again, if you wanted to, you could either buy a dark blast kit and use the screws from it, or you could try something like this. See how this looks. Here's the blurple screw. Oh wait, no, that wouldn't come with it. I would want the, yeah, it would, sorry. So that's the blurple screw. I don't know if you guys can hear my baby going nuts, but don't worry. My wife and my mom are here. I am not neglecting that child. So that's the blurple. It actually looks pretty good. But I wonder what the purple would look like. I'm just going to answer everybody's questions. I know what you guys are thinking. What if I use the purple one, Kev? All right, well, or the purple one. We're going to find out. I think the blurple might actually match a little bit cleaner than purple, but not sure. There's purple. So if you had this version, you would have all those options to deal with. The purple looks pretty good, actually. So did the blurple. Satin didn't look bad either. You know why? Because you have a satin blade. So, you know, why not have satin hardware? You have a satin liner. I think that looks probably the best. I don't know. Purple's nice too. You guys choose. That's the whole point. You have plenty of options with this knife. But you can see how easy it is to swap stuff around, especially if you're not on camera and overthinking everything. But there you go. There's my hour-long introduction to this knife for you guys. Hopefully you got something out of it. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions. But most importantly, check out the drop on the 20th. And let me know if you guys have any questions. I love you. Big shout out to our dealers. We really appreciate them. They keep Divo going. And, you know, they support the community. And we appreciate that. So, yeah. Oh, the other kits. There's black. There's dark blast. There's satin. There's purple. And there's blue. I think that's it. I think that is it. So blue, so that's real blue, not blurple. At least I think it is. Let's look. Yeah. So that's blue. Their blue is interesting. It's not very vibrant. Not my favorite, but it is pretty cool. So, blue, black, satin, purple, dark blast, and, of course, the big dog, Zircuti. Let me know if you have a favorite, of course. And I think this would look cool, too, if it was all dark blast. If you got the dark blast kit, that would look pretty sick, too. So, yeah, plenty of options here, guys. And we would appreciate your support on this one. We've been working on it a while, and it's a little bit different, you know. It's a unique knife for us. And I think that's important, to not have knives that are always the same, you know. But if that's what you're after, we do have more tall boys coming in March. So stay tuned. Love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic day. I am going to shut up now. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.